Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, the Anatolia region of Turkey, about 5,000 feet. Good to be with everybody from around the world. We've got a lot of new UFO videos. Brent's in the Hollywood Hills. He's got some opinions on what we're about to share with you tonight. Let me tell you, it's crazy. So buckle up. Right now, let's get to it. A new UFO video just in. Watch this.
All right, let's rock. Brent Cousins here, reporting from the Hollywood Hills. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon. We're just getting started tonight. We have a ton of UFOs that just came in. What are we looking at here? I believe this was captured over South America, somewhere in Colombia. Look, we're adding some, features, a little contrast filter to kind of highlight this object, whatever it is. We're seeing kind of this heat signature. It's quite bright right there at the bottom, and you're seeing kind of the top. It has this kind of more of this darker mass to it. Interesting. We're gonna roll this video a few more times just to, let's analyze this thing. Let's look at this. Again, South America, Colombia, these are the hot spots where we're seeing UFOs that don't look like anything else except in that region. And it looks like this, your typical flying saucer. Just remain steady. It's up there. It's not bobbing again like a balloon. But what the weird part about it, we're gonna get a couple close-ups on this. We see these kind of tendrils kind of draping from the craft. Okay, let's look at this. We're gonna get a good close-up. And you see that? They almost look like legs, landing legs. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a good close-up right there. Again, we're looking at the real deal. No CGI, no AI. I would lay money on this stuff right here that this is legitimate footage. We're just asking the question, the big one. What's your opinion, guys? I kind of like this video. It's authentic. We all know that. It's 100% legit. South America, that region on this planet Earth, they seem to be seeing these kind of UFOs pretty much on a daily basis. When you ask somebody over there, do you see the OVNI? They act like, yeah, of course. All you have to do is look up. They're there all the time. We're looking at something incredibly strange. Again, the landing gear, is that, if that's what it is, I kind of like that too, because it just reminds me of your classic flying saucer that you would see in the movies and what we've all been hearing in this field. Again, this thing's not moving, it's not oscillating, it's big, it's pretty much the size, I would estimate the size of a small SUV as well, and it's just there hovering there in the sky. Pretty incredible. Let's see what Blake has to say over there in Turkey.
All right, guys, I want to get your opinion. What do you think that UFO sighting was? Right here at Third Phase of Moon, we really don't have any idea. That's why we're sharing it with you. The poppy flower. It blooms throughout the fields right here in high elevation in Turkey. They're everywhere. It's kind of interesting. But let me tell you, what's really interesting is this new UFO sighting just into Third Phase Moon. I want to get your thoughts. And Brent, you're in the Hollywood Hills. What do you make of it?
All right, this one's kind of weird. There's some things that I like about it, and then there's some things I find a little suspect. You hear the chatter in the background, and we kind of turned it down a little bit. There's some little vulgar language, and you hear the reactions. but does the reaction sound authentic to you? There's some things that that throw me off a little bit because you can see the camera cutting, but the voices seem to be going right through each cut. So it's some sort of overlay of audio, in my opinion. But the big question, what are we looking at there in the sky? Is that legitimate? And if it is, it's pretty incredible. We're seeing this kind of, I don't know, like a Batwing just floating there, not too far off over the building. And the video looks pretty good, actually. You see this thing just kind of, it's up there. And the way the camera kind of vibrates like that, and the camera shake, that looks legit. Even that little minute camera focus had a nice aspect to legitimacy here. What's your opinion, guys? What are we looking at? Is this a UFO? Or it's definitely a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object, in my opinion. Unless somebody else could tell me otherwise, I'd sure like to hear it in the comments. Yeah, I kind of like this one. When you do hear the people talking in the background, either their acting's not too good or it's totally authentic. I don't know. I'm hearing it, and they're like UFO, and they're saying, we come in peace, we come in peace. And maybe you might want to say that if you see something like this. But it did sound a little bit contrived. I'm not sure. What's your thoughts, guys? We're gonna roll this just a few more times, and just you know, let's analyze this thing. Yeah, it's just up there, probably about 40 feet off the ground, and it's there and it kind of moves. It's definitely moving from right to left. I would say this one's pretty large too, a little bit, I don't know, maybe half the size of a school bus, but it has this dark wing. It almost looks like something you would see out of a Batman movie, kind of a half of his craft. And it's kind of interesting because you got 3 points at the bottom and the nice kind of arcing curve at the top, and it's just literally pitch black. We're not seeing no prop propellers. This is definitely not a drone. It's not a cloud of smoke. It's not swamp gas, guys. This is some sort of object, and we're just asking the big question: what is this? All right, we're just again getting started in tonight's episode. Man, we've been on a roll with the UFOs that's been coming in, so we just it's been pretty much daily. We've been dropping these episodes premiering, because when the information comes in, it's our job to get them out as fast as we can. And it's you guys that support this channel that we see the super chats too, and we appreciate every little bit of that, because it helps us produce these episodes. They take hours putting together. You know, it takes some work organizing all this and then dropping it and you know, getting it all out. It's definitely a great job. We love it and appreciate that support. Okay, we got more UFOs lined up tonight, so we're just getting started. Let's rock.
Talk about strangeness. That new UFO video that we just saw, we don't have an explanation, but let me tell you, there's another video that we're about to share, and this person discovered something in a river right there in Florida. Take a look at this, coming in from Google Maps. Can you explain this to us?
Okay, so Fish and Wildlife, when I called them, they told me they had no idea there's anything here. You can see these things on Google Earth. They're obviously made by something intelligent, man-made. It looks like there's an entrance to get into them, or windows or something on the side of them. I don't know. I don't know what these things are. But somebody constructed them in the middle of a river. That's what's crazy to me about it. And it looks like they're made out of rock. So, you tell me.
All right, so I want to get your thoughts. What do you think's hidden within the river right there in Florida? The Google coordinates are there, so you can take a look for yourself. Now, Brent, what's your thoughts on it?
All right, this discovery is pretty fascinating, and this gentleman who just revealed this to the world may have stumbled across something amazing. It does look like a building, definitely, and it does look like it's made out of rock. He's got that right. We're looking at some sort of like mound right there. I don't know, does Google Earth and underwater transparency, are they really seeing everything that, you know, you can see it outside, obviously, with satellite pictures, but they're not necessarily getting the best images from deep inside the water over there. But why would this be put in there? Is Google Earth just fooling around, or is there certainly a mystery? Something's happening down there, that's for sure. Look at this. It almost looks like it's carved out, and it's just under there, not too deep, actually. If anybody is there in that region in Florida, you almost could get some scuba gear and probably get down there. I'm imagining that this is probably no deeper than maybe 100 feet at the most, and it's just right off the coast of Florida. Could this possibly be an alien structure, as this gentleman claims? Yeah, it's very weird. In some parts, he did mention that you could see almost windows or doorways. It's very odd and peculiar, because these kind of stones aren't necessarily the geographical feature of rivers in the Florida area. I promise you that. Again, what is this, guys? We want to hear it in the comments. We're looking at, again, the structure is pretty large as well. It's not small, and I believe it's there, actually. I really do. So this could be kind of a hot spot. You could go on maybe an alien little gold rush and go find this area right now. It's in a vicinity where you could basically get there. So I don't know. I'm not making a challenge, but hey, this is kind of X marks a spot right here, and everybody has an opportunity to go and stake claim and see what this is. Kind of the mystery is open and on the table. That's what I like about this discovery that we're looking at, right? And like we promised, we got a ton of videos. They're just piling in, and I got this one in queue. So everybody buckle up, smash that thumbs up. Let's roll this one. All right, this looks to be captured by some boat cam, and we see something right there off in the horizon screaming from left to right, just right above the water. Some sort of object as it flies behind that sailboat and that little the landmass over there behind the trees, and there's a still. This kind of forked UFO, you know, just traveling at immense rates of speed. Is this real? We're slowing it down right here so we could get a better look, and then we're gonna get that closer look, and boom. I don't know. I'm a little suspect about this video, leaning on the fence. What's your thoughts? Could this be too good to be true? Some CGI going on, or could it be the real deal? There's some, I don't know, the low quality. They're not trying to over sensationalize the UFO, as it's kind of off in the distance. It's kind of like, oh, it caught your eye, but could it be a setup? I'm not sure. You know, I'm leaning, I wouldn't go, you know, let's just say this. If I was in Vegas, I wouldn't lay a lot of money on this one. But what if it was real? And what if you missed out on the big bet? I'm just saying. You know, UFOs can move at that speed. That's not a problem. I kind of like it because it, you know, has this odd character flight vehicle. You don't see your typical wings, no jet propulsion, none of the sort. All right, next video coming up.
Guarda, registrando? Sì, sto registrando. Oddio, che cavolo è? Oddio, è una cosa incredibile. Il telefono, registra pure tu. Ah, guarda. Oddio, assurdo, eh.
All right, you hear the people. They're looking up. They're stunned. It sounds authentic. This video is authentic. It's 100% legit, and we're looking at something strange. It almost looks like some sort of like, jellyfish. These Portuguese man o' war that you would see in the Hawaiian waters that have this kind of like translucent kind of a gossamer where you could see through them, but it also has these kind of, the look of the bioluminescence creature that we see deep within the oceans too as well. You could see it's pulsating, and it looks again like this biological UFO that the world has been talking about recently. And could this be proof? The people on the ground, they're seeing it with the naked eye. They're pulling out the camera. I'm sure being there in person, you're going to be seeing something even more special. But in my opinion, this is not a balloon. Definitely not. And it's no drone. The question is this something otherworldly? Is this coming again from another solar system? But you see that light right at the bottom, and it looks like something you would see out of the movie The Abyss, James Cameron's The Abyss. What a great movie. If you like that one, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't seen it, I'd suggest go watch the movie The Abyss. It'll take you on a wild ride. And what we're looking at right here is, again, a wild video, 100% legit. There's no AI, no CGI in any of our videos. And if we do share it, and we're kind of on the fence, we're going to call it. But right now we're calling this as an authentic capture. Again, we're just really happy. I think we got probably about 100 new UFOs that just came in this week, and we're just getting started. All right, got the next UFO video in queue. All right, last opinions. What's your thoughts of this one, guys, before I go to the next one? Yeah, it's got me stumped. It's pretty dang cool. All right, let's roll the next video.
Voilà forme. Ouais, là, si mi bouge, je me fais passer après si mi travaille encore et là il remonte.
Pourquoi? Avocat? Hein? Bah c'est quoi? Hein? La lumière là-bas?
Tiens mon téléphone s'il te plaît, mais ça y est rangé.
T'es bien?
Ouais, je savais pas bouger. Non, elle a bougé. Tiens.
All right, I'm digging this video. This person filming, he's got a nice scope, and it's going pretty long distance. I'm not sure the full length of his scope, but you can see it. Something there miles out over the ocean, I believe. This kind of somewhat triangular craft just hovering over there in the sky, and he's trying to film it. He's having a hard time. These scopes, and you got such a long lens. He must have a pretty good tripod on there because it's not shaking too much, and he's probably pretty locked down. And it's not easy to focus on something so far away. I'd probably imagine, shoot, maybe about 7 to 5 miles away. I'm not sure, but it's out there, and whatever it is, it's big. And I kind of like the dialogue you could hear between the father and daughter, I believe, and the little girl. She's interested in what's being captured and what is it. This isn't a cloud. It's not a parasail or anything like that, or a parachuter. This thing is so far away you probably could barely see it with the naked eye, but he's getting maxing out his telescope and he's getting a good shot. It's a struggle. There it is. Look at that thing. Wow, it actually descended. This is incredible footage right here. This is pretty badass. Dang. Yep. If the government dropped this, or Arrow, or any of these guys, DOD, people would be stunned. But they're dropping trash videos. They're dropping balloons and all this kind of mundane stuff. Right here, Third Phase of Moon is showcasing you some of the best UFOs on the planet that make you wonder, are we alone in the universe? Well, right now, probably these past 5 videos that we just shared on Third Phase of Moon will make you lean into believing that something's happening on this planet. The phenomenon is real, and we're looking at something that we just can't explain. This thing's probably the size of maybe a half a football field, and it's just there. It's floating above the water. Could this be a USO? It sure can, and it probably could go right back in the ocean and disappear from sight. They could all be hiding in our oceans. The oceans are basically take up 71% of the planet. So there's a lot of places where these USOs could hide. All right, let's take it to Blake over there in Turkey. And man, it's been a wild ride.
All right, guys, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think is going on in our skies? A lot of videos are coming in from around the world. It's exciting times. And if you've captured anything amazing, don't hesitate. Upload that video to social media, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Just copy paste that link to my email. It's in the description below. Everybody be safe out there. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. We'll see you next time.
You're either on the side of the law or you're not. The only way you're going to get to it is somebody at that executive level that says enough is enough, cut the money off, bring these people in, let's go.
This is not to be talked about any further. And if you do, something can happen.
All we need is one to be accurate. And this whole concept of UFO crash retrieval non-existing completely falls apart.
Everybody wants to be in there. Can you give any kind of sneak peek of what that's like?
That organization has had the ability since the 60s to hit a button and simulate an alien attack on the planet using these technologies.
Serious questions tonight amid a growing number of drone sightings.
How do you set up a believable false flag and operations that looks like it's alien when it isn't?
So when it happens, they're not shocked, they're not stunned. They can say, oh, we knew this was going to happen.
Which is potentially the most dangerous, where they're talking about, quote unquote, catastrophic disclosure.
They put it into secrecy, they deny, and then they shut the people up.
And the president doesn't know about. That is an existential threat to humanity.